The astrolabe has many uses, and although these uses may seem outdated at first, they actually serve many functions which are still useful to this day. These functions include telling time, identifying celestial objects, and other measurements, which can all be observed using ancient and modern astrolabes. Astrolabes originated around 190 to 120 BCE and were the height of sophistication up to the Middle Ages as far as astronomical tools went. This was until the invention of the telescope in 1609, when astronomers created a need for precise tools that went beyond the usage of astrolabes. The term astrolabe is of Greek origin and roughly translates to star taker. It not only had influence in Greece, but moved throughout Europe and made its way to the Islamic region as well, where it was frequently used by astronomers there and given alterations in order to improve its function. Originally, ancient astronomers used multiple tools to make various measurements and observations about celestial objects and their positions in the night sky. This was in addition to telling time and observing elevation. The astrolabe was invented as a single tool which combined these separate ones. Historical astrolabes that were previously used by astronomers are incredibly valuable and not available for public usage. However, modern astrolabes can be constructed in a variety of ways, even using paper and cardboard, and these astrolabes can be just as precise when assembled correctly and carefully. Astrolabes have many capabilities, which can be useful to anyone with an interest in astronomy or even math. This is because, along with making celestial measurements and observations, astrolabes can also be used to measure the elevation of objects on Earth, right here at our eye level. Some refer to the astrolabe as the original smartphone. This is because, at the time of their popularity, it was a tool which could tell time, give location, and help make decisions which were based off astronomical specifications. It was even relatively customizable, just like today's phones. Whereas one might think astrolabes would be diverse considering their extensive period of usage in history, they can look different, but they always appear in a spherical shape. They also have components on both sides, front and back, which have different usages and capabilities depending on the side that the user is using. Original historical astrolabes are composed of either wood or brass. The spherical main body of the tool is referred to as the mother, which has a front and a back. There's a spinning arm on both the front and the back of the mother, which mimic that of a clock. These are known as the alidade and rule. The alidade sits on the back of the mother and spins freely like an arm of a compass or a clock. Its purpose is to measure how far celestial and terrestrial objects sit above the horizon. These measurements can be customized on modern astrolabes to work anywhere in the world. The back of the mother has circles that work to form a solar calendar, which refers to the time of year compared to the sun's movements through the constellations of the sun's yearly path. An entire revolvement around the circle represents one solar year, or one trip around the sun. The front of the mother is similar to the sophisticated planisphere and has the ability to predict exactly what objects will rise above the horizon at any time. The outer rim of the side is referred to as the climate, and this can either be set to an earthly latitude or have multiple climates for various latitudes. The reed is a separate piece that sits on the front of the mother. It displays a planispheric projection of some of the most visible stars we see in the night sky. As it sits above the climate, it can rotate around its center to mimic the sky and stars moving throughout the night sky. The rule is the clock-like hand that sits on the front of the mother, over top of the reed. This freely rotating part has a scale marked along its length. This scale shows the declination of stars in the night sky at whichever particular distance it is measured from the center of the astrolabe. One may wonder why the astrolabe depicts the sky from front to back. This is because, historically, this is how medieval astrolabes were constructed, for reasons unbeknownst to astronomers today. However, it is likely that it involves some of its ancient uses, which is fascinating to ponder. Despite their historical popularity, the decline with the invention of the telescope, astrolabes are still very relevant to those interested in astronomy, particularly those which have an interest in history as well. These tools are beautiful and complex and can tell us a lot about astronomy even today. One of the best aspects of astrolabes in modern day is that they aren't just a rare object that one must acquire. In fact, astrolabes can be made at home using simple and inexpensive supplies. There are many sources which outline the composition and how to construct astrolabes as well. Not only are astrolabes easily accessible when one chooses to construct their own, but with focus and proper instruction, astrolabes are easy to use as well. Multiple resources outline the various functions, and anyone can easily use their own tool to make astrological observations right from home. With its adaptability, historical significance, and relativity in today's scientific world, the astrolabe is an unseemingly beneficial tool which astronomers and those with an interest in astronomy can use for scientific benefit or simply intrigue whenever they desire, wherever they desire.